Sauti Sol, the best and biggest boy band in Africa, released their fifth studio album, Midnight Train, under their first international major label, Universal Music Africa. The 13-track album has 4 singles: the smash hit Susanna, Disco Matanga, a Luya and Zulu-infused traditional song with South Africa's Shoma Jozi, and house duo Black Motion. Disco Matanga was the theme song for the first Netflix African original series, South African crime drama Queen Sono. The third single, Brighter Days, a song of hope for a better future, features Grammy-winning South African gospel group Soweto Gospel Choir. And the last single, Insecure, which highlights the issue of insecurity that everyone deals with at one point in their lives. Personally, my favorite song on the album is Nenda Lote, a rich feel of Afropop and a bit of rumba. The song is a nostalgia of an old era, refreshed with beats and sounds of a modern vibe. Also, I don't know if it's only me, but Nenda Lote reminds me of an Erikwa Naina song. The project is a fusion of past, present, and future of Kenya. How Sauti Sol manages to sync old and new eras in this project is mind-boggling. The transition of vocals from track to track in this album is absolutely genius. The musical growth in Sauti Sol is so evident in this album. They are at a point in their career where they don't have to go with trends or prove anything to pundits, but just stick to their craft and do what they trust themselves to do best. The most pertinent thing, however, is it a Grammy-worthy album? The Grammys, which is awarded by the Recording Academy, is the highest level of recognition for a musician. Even though it is an American award ceremony, awarding American musicians or musicians who have had a breakthrough in the American market, the Grammys also awards international performers under the Best World Music Album category. The award for Best World Music Album is reserved for international performers exhibiting an European indigenous traditions. Some Africans that have won the award include South Africans, who have won the most: Lady Smith Black Mambazo 5 times, Soweto Gospel Choir 3 times, and from Benin, Angelique Kidjo 4 times. The most interesting thing is that no mainstream African artist has ever won a Grammy. It was not until last year that a mainstream African artist, Burna Boy, was nominated for a Grammy. Burna Boy was nominated for Best World Music Album for his album African Giant, which is one of my favorite albums of 2019. Burna Boy literally had to fight to get a nomination, having been signed to Atlantic Records, an American label that is home to artists like Cardi B and Lizzo. He released African Giant in July 2019. The album featured multiple Grammy-winning artists, Damian Marley and Angelique Kidjo. He went on an extensive media tour in America to promote the album. He was on Jimmy Kimmel Live, The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, The Breakfast Club, and many more. He toured North America for his African Giant tour and also performed at the biggest music festival in the world, Coachella. Seems from the moment he planned to drop the African Giant album, he had already set his eyes on the Grammy and was ready to put in the work, and it paid off as he was finally nominated for Best World Music Album in November 2019. He was nominated alongside Angelique Kidjo, a Grammy veteran, who was nominated for her album Celia. Angelique Kidjo went on to win the Grammy in January 2020, earning her a 4th Grammy Award.
Oh my God. 4 years ago on this stage, I was telling you that the new generations of artists coming from Africa gonna take you by storm. And the time has come. This is for Burna Boy. Burna Boy is among those young artists that come from Africa that is changing the way our continent is perceived and the way the African music have been the bedrock of every music. I want to thank...
Even though he did not win, Burna Boy's nomination was remarkable as it has opened doors for mainstream artists to get a nomination and eventually get a Grammy. Sauti Sol seemed to have taken a few notes from Burna Boy. They not only got signed to an international label, Universal Music Africa, earlier this year, they also have featured Grammy-winning artists Soweto Gospel Choir, 3 times winners, and India Rie, 4 times winner. They had a tour planned, but due to the coronavirus pandemic, they had to cancel. And for all we know, they would have gone for a media tour in the US if it wasn't for the pandemic. However, for Sauti Sol to get a nomination, they have to submit their album for consideration to the Recording Academy. Seems like mainstream African artists never used to dare submit their albums for consideration for a Grammy. Maybe because they didn't want to put in the work like Burna Boy did just to get a nomination. In retrospect, after Burna Boy's nomination, mainstream African artists may not have to do all that much work, as his nomination has already broken down the barriers that existed before. Burna Boy's nomination was significant for African music, popularly referred to as Afrobeats, to the point where, after he did not win, British supermodel Naomi Campbell, who is a big fan of Afrobeats, wrote a heartfelt open letter which she shared on her Instagram and Twitter to the Recording Academy, urging them to create a category for Afrobeats Album of the Year, Song of the Year, Artist of the Year, and all other subcategories that this genre deserves. However, the Recording Academy recently announced changes to its Grammy Awards, and it did not mention anything about an Afrobeats category. Honestly, if the Grammys decide to add an Afrobeats category, it will only be for Best Afrobeats Album. Just like there is a category for Best Reggae Album. And when the category for Afrobeats is created, hopefully it will not be dominated by Nigerian artists, just like the category for Reggae Album is only won by Jamaican artists. But until then, African artists just have to be content with the Best World Music Album category. Sauti Sol seem to have set their eyes on the Grammy while making this album, from featuring Grammy-winning artists and the fact that the album embraces the original African culture, which sets it as an album exhibiting non-European indigenous traditions. Everything about the album is top-notch, from songwriting, instrumental arrangement, vocal arrangement, and production. Let's hope they submit the album for nominations, and by God's grace, they get nominated, and hopefully, they win. Do you believe Sauti Sol can bring the Grammy for Best World Music Album home? Leave your comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos.